massive shout out to Raceworks. They've been supporting this build and also my other cars for the last, I'd say, 12 months now. And yeah, huge credit to them for basically how quick we're getting this done, because without their support, we wouldn't have the parts here. And yeah, it's just been freaking incredible. Thank you, Raceworks.
The next day.
Ooh! So as you all know, I was in Japan. Time is running out. Okay, so we have 3 weeks left, I believe. Actually less than that. The guys have made some pretty awesome progress. Decky has been fabbing up everything on this car. It's coming along. We're getting close. So I've put the GK Tech bushes in to adapt the 350Z diff, just with time frame. I'm gonna weld that sucker and then use, it's basically an R200 diff. So it should be sweet. So obviously all the welding brackets from GK Tech are in the subframe. We've got the solid bushings as well. So massive shout out to GK Tech. We will be doing their full suspension, front and rear, on this car. So once the car is painted, I'll then fit all that up. We have the dry sump lines thanks to Raceworks. So these are dash 16. I've had to notch the chassis out a bit just to get the like ground clearance. And then they got also the dash 8 fuel lines. So running them on the opposite side of the exhaust. This is plenty enough clearance heat wise. We got some crazy coolers as well. So we got the G-Force out the BMW. We're gonna be using that. Decky's done this 4-inch exhaust all the way out, and you'll see that it goes out to the side here. And he's left his tool. So that's pretty cool. I'm keen as to hear that. Just got to finish off the dash 16 lines here, make a bit of a heat shield because it's getting very close. Last night was Saturday night, and I spent it here organising all the final parts from Raceworks to hook up this Ross Performance dry sump kit. So massive shout out to Ross coming on board with their dry sump kit. But it's coming together. So those parts will be here this week, and we will be able to have all the plumbing finished, and then I can basically strip the car, get it ready for paint. Very big task to get done in time. And then just time frame wise, I'm gonna wrap the outside because we just won't have enough time to get it completely painted. But yeah, and then GK Tech, everything in the front here, knuckles, lower control arms. I've already got their sway bar in just for figuring out lines and clearances and whatever. So this is their high clearance sway bar, and then it has like these knife brackets on, and then they go to, they go this way to your lower control arm. So it's freaking cool. I've got a brand new D-Max rack, steering rack for it. All the fuel lines have been done thanks to Raceworks. And we'll drop the car now. I bought this OMP seat off of Damon. A bloody good egg. Thanks again, mate. We'll be retaining standard column, standard pedals, and I'm trying to get a carbon dash. I'm gonna give Sydney Composites a ring this week and be like, yo, have you got one? Because I heard they've got one left. So I think I just need to pull the trigger and get that, because that'll look freaking sick. The exhaust is getting a cover made, so please don't stress, guys. And then I'll wrap it and make sure it's all good. The firebomb system will funnily enough go right next to that. So I'll run 2 extinguisher ports into the engine bay, 1 in the cabin for me and the lucky people that get to come for a spin, and hopefully never have that firebomb go off, and then 1 in the boot, sort of sprays all the fuel and NOS section and oil. So maybe 2 in the boot, we'll see. Moving into the engine bay. So a lot of fab works happened here. Obviously the big pulsar. I don't know how many freaking horse torques this thing's gonna be able to spin up, but as long as this little bubby 2.6 litre can spin that wheel, we're laughing. Even if it can't, this sucker right here. That's right, guys. Freaking NOS line. We're gonna be chucking 500 horses into the guts of this thing just to get that spinning. No, not that much. Maybe, we'll see. Anyway, it's got Raceworks fuel line on the top. Looks like it's not enough fuel, doesn't it? Well, there's another hidden one straight underneath. So, Raceworks actually have a universal fuel rail kit where you can basically build your own. So we use the factory manifold here, and we have an extra fuel rail underneath. So you can see I've run all the lines to the Turbo Smart fuel rig. So big shout out to Turbo Smart for jumping on board as well. They've supported all my builds since 2012, I say. Aussie company, bloody good eggs. And yeah, they have also supplied a 50mm gate down there and a Raceport blow-up valve. So we always use one of these when we're using lots of boost. Because whatever this thing spins up to, we're just going to try and hold it up there. Oh, it's exciting. Anyway, like I said before, big 4-inch mama that goes down there. All the Ross dry sump kit and pulleys. So Ross Performance, thank you guys. This kit is like, it just makes life so easy. You've got the oil pump blanking kit here. You've got the adapter that goes straight onto the side of the engine down there. It has all the fittings to just run lines, and it's happy days. Now let's move into the cooling side of things, because as you can see here, we have making hot air coming through cooler pipe into plasma van cooler, making cool air. And then up this pipe here, big single fogger shot of nice cooling the air even more and giving it more oxygen. And yeah, we should make lots of horse talks. And then Phoenix obviously have created this custom radiator for us. It's 2 sections. So basically the bottom section is going to be cooling the block, and the top section is going to be cooling the head. So then that will all be plumbed up by Raceworks fittings and lines. Raceworks basically has everything, even sensors. I think I already said that, but sensors, seat rails, they even have batteries, battery mounts. They got most of the NOS lines, brackets, even the 2000 PSI sensors for that. They got heaps of stuff, welding, EGT bungs, you name it, they've got it. And they ship it out super fast as well. So thank you again, Raceworks. You can obviously buy that stuff through us, or if you're from SA, like I used to be, I used to get all my Raceworks stuff from Sleeker Spares, along with all the GK Tech stuff, and pretty well everything. I just used to go there, so support them because they support drifting. They're bloody good eggs. That's the cooling side. The last thing I wanted to talk about was obviously the Ross dry sump kit, and then that obviously gets fed across into this new Clearview filter, which I've never used before. So this thing here is actually just a massive time saver. So basically fluid comes into the top, gets pushed through this gauze, and then gets forced into a big Chevy filter, which will sit on there. And then it comes out of the bottom, and I'll have it coming through a bulkhead here and into this cooler, thanks to Phoenix. Out this cooler, into the bottom one, straight back through another bulkhead and into the engine. So this Clearview filter basically is going to show you any debris pretty well straight away. So it's obviously going to be full of oil, you can't see nothing to begin with. So you turn the car off, chuck a bit of air pressure in this valve here. So it's just like a tyre valve. You just go psh, and it'll blow all the oil out. If you see metal in there, you know you got dramas. So then, yeah, it's just a quick way to have a look, make sure everything's all sweet. Just helps with the stress levels, you know? That's the main thing. It's freaking expensive. Should be a damn good thing. And I've probably convinced 5 of you to buy one now. So clearviewfiltration.com. I would love to get one for the Beamer. They are so freaking expensive as well, but I think they're worth it. So fingers crossed I can do a bit of a new setup on the Beamer. But anyway, that's enough about this. One thing I didn't touch on, Raceworks clamps for the cooler. So they're on this whole thing and just make life a hell of a lot easier. All the boost, no blowing cooler pipes, happy days. And then one of the last things, well not one of the last things, but we need to mount power steering reservoir, coolant overflow, breather. I'm gonna do a brake booster delete kit from GK Tech. So we're gonna do that, just standard slave. Gonna obviously have to cut that back out. Decky got a bit keen on filling all the holes. After driving Potross's car with the brake booster delete kit and he had the standard brakes, it was terrible. So I don't want to replicate that. If anyone has any ideas on what brakes I should do in a pinch, these ones aren't going to cut it. Unless I use a different master, I don't know. there'll be some experts out there that could tell me what to do. I don't know much about that sort of stuff, so if you guys can help me, let me know. Now moving into the boot, we have a fiberglass boot lid, which has all been mounted. So that one's ready to go. We've got the NOS bottle location, brackets all made. We're gonna have a NOS line into a bulkhead. Also got the fuel lines into a bulkhead. Filters obviously mounted. Just waiting on the flex fuel to rock up. The fill up point, we'll just have a clear section here just so you can tell when it's bloody full. All the dry sump lines in the boot have been run. I'm just waiting on one more fitting for the breather here. The idea behind the breathers on the dry sump tank is you're supposed to have the rocker cover venting back into the tank. But I'm gonna have another one down there, just going to atmosphere, and then these two are basically going to atmosphere. I think it's overkill, but you've got vent in and vent out, so I'll just chuck them both in. They're supposed to come out of the cabin, but we've got a firewall, it's all good, nothing to worry about. We also have a new fuel pump system that we're going to be using on this. So this car is going to be running one fuel pump, that's right, one single fuel pump. More on that to come, which is something we've been using at the shop here a lot lately, on a lot of cars, 1,000 horsepower plus, and it's working sweet. So it's quite crazy. Obviously all the pedals are factory, so I'm not doing anything crazy there, just going electronic throttle, which I also have to do another little shout out to the boys down at Dartone Racing. Massive thank you to Anthony there for getting us a drive-by-wire kit for the 6 throttle bodies. So when I pull this engine down, because this is obviously the dummy engine, I'm going to show you guys how that system works. And yeah, it's just been a little bit time poor trying to get this all sorted, because let's be honest, it's been insane. Like, it's just been sort of non-stop since I got back from Japan, and then also trying to do what I can around the shop. So yeah, that's a pretty solid update, I thought. Obviously I'm going to try and do weekly ones now from here on in until it has to be ready. So I think we have 3 weeks left. So yeah, there'll be a lot more videos than that. I think there'll be more than 3. God, the amount of work I've got. I just hope I can film it all. That's been the biggest problem. I figured there's no point filming all of this stuff so far because I've got to strip it all, and then maybe I'll just film it when I put it all back on. But yeah, there is a lot of fab work involved, so there's still a lot of work to do. A lot. We still haven't even got a single wire in the car, but old Pivo's got that sorted, which we'll be helping him with. And then we've got to build an engine. Whew, I'm excited for that one. All right guys, there's the S15 update, and we'll be back very soon. Once again, thank you to all the partners that have come on board. Couldn't do it without you. So let's get it. 3 weeks to go.